Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
You know the drill if you're digging these conversations. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.
Definitely.
Today we're tackling a question that's probably crossed your mind.
Yeah.
Especially if you've ever heard that plant-based eating means kissing those muscle gains. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
We're going deep on this whole idea
Okay.
that you absolutely need to pile on animal protein
Right.
to really get stronger.
It's a common one.
It is.
You know, you've probably seen that image
Yeah.
of the super strong meat eater
Right.
compared to like the weaker plant-based person.
Oh, yeah, like the stereotypical,
Yeah, exactly.
like skinny vegan.
Right.
But what if?
What if that's totally wrong?
I like where this is going.
Yeah. What if we've got it all backwards?
Okay.
Our source today suggests exactly that.
Cool.
We're taking excerpts from Gaining Muscle and Strength on a Plant-Based Diet from the Game Changers. And we're going to explore how you can actually build some serious muscle and strength on a plant-focused diet.
All right, let's bust this myth wide open.
Yeah, let's do it.
Forget those old jokes about rabbit food,
Yeah.
not building those biceps.
Right.
This deep dive is all about unpacking the truth.
Absolutely.
Even someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
an icon in the bodybuilding world.
You can't get much bigger than Arnold.
Exactly. He shifted his perspective.
Yes.
He's saying we should chill out with the meat when it comes to building a powerful physique.
Yeah.
So what's changed?
Well, it's really fascinating to see how our understanding of plant-based nutrition has evolved.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to athletic performance
Rough.
for a long time. And the source kind of hints at this.
Yeah.
Plant-based diets were chosen for reasons other than maxing out muscle.
Okay.
You know, things like ethical concerns.
Yeah.
Or just general wellness.
Right.
And even those aiming for muscle growth, maybe they didn't have the specific knowledge to really do it effectively on a plant-based diet.
Right. It's not that plants couldn't fuel muscle,
Exactly.
but maybe the strategy wasn't quite there.
Right. Maybe they weren't doing it right.
Yeah.
But as our source makes clear,
Yeah.
things have changed.
Yeah.
And here's the really interesting part.
I'm ready.
The fundamental rules for building muscle are the same,
Oh, hey.
whether you're eating steak or sweet potatoes.
Okay.
It all boils down to consistent,
Okay.
challenging training
Right.
and eating more calories than you burn,
Gotcha.
a caloric surplus.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
your body needs that extra fuel
Yeah.
to actually build new tissue,
Okay.
no matter where that fuel comes from.
Right.
The source points out that for muscle growth,
Yeah.
you generally need to eat more calories than your maintenance level.
Okay.
So like if you're a beginner,
Yeah.
you might aim for like a 20 to 40% surplus.
Okay. 20 to 40.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then as you get more experienced,
Yeah.
maybe you drop that down to 10 to 20%.
Makes sense.
Which kind of depends on where you're at
Yeah.
and how your body's responding.
So this is where a plant-based approach can be pretty cool.
Yeah, it can actually be really insightful.
Yeah.
Think about this. A lot of plant-based foods are actually lower in caloric density
Okay.
than animal products.
Right.
So you can think of it this way.
Yeah.
You can eat a huge bowl of lentil stew
Okay. Yeah.
for way fewer calories than like a small portion of beef.
Gotcha.
So you get to eat more food
Yeah.
and feel fuller
Right.
without necessarily gaining a ton of fat.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But if muscle gain is the main goal.
Right, if that's your priority.
Yeah.
The source emphasizes that you got to be strategic
Okay.
and incorporate those calorie-dense plant-based options.
Okay. So like what?
We're talking things like quinoa,
Okay.
brown rice,
Yeah.
beans, chickpeas,
Okay.
tofu tempeh,
Gotcha.
nut seeds, avocados, even dried fruit.
Okay.
These are going to give you those calories you need to
Yeah.
support muscle growth.
Okay.
And hey, if you're looking for that extra boost,
Yeah.
plant-based protein powders and energy bars
Yeah.
can definitely help out too.
Cool. So it's not that plant-based eaters don't eat enough.
Right.
It's about focusing on the right types of plant-based foods.
Exactly.
All right, let's tackle the big one, protein.
The protein question.
Everyone associates it with muscle.
It's like the muscle nutrient.
Yeah, and the source acknowledges that animal products,
Yeah,
they're often packed with protein,
they are.
leading many people to just rely on bigger portions
Right.
of meat,
Yeah.
dairy,
Mm-hmm.
eggs.
Makes sense.
So for someone new to plant-based eating,
Yeah.
their first thought might not be, where do I find protein?
Right. Exactly.
The stereotypical image,
Yeah.
like the source mentions,
Mm.
is often just a salad.
A simple salad.
Nutritious?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not exactly bursting with protein.
Not necessarily protein packed.
So where do you get your protein then?
That's the question everyone asks.
Yeah.
Well, the source dives right into it.
Okay.
The plant kingdom is loaded with protein.
Really?
Think about it. Beans, lentils, peas,
Okay, yeah.
tofu, edamame,
Mm-hmm.
nuts, seeds, even whole grains.
Right.
They've got significant amounts of protein.
Huh.
And in lots of cultures around the world,
Yeah.
these have been like staple protein sources
Right.
for centuries.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a Western thing.
Interesting.
To think that plant-based foods lack protein,
Okay.
it's not really true.
So it's more about education
It is.
and knowing which plant-based foods to prioritize.
Yeah, exactly, knowing what to eat.
Fair.
And the source goes a step further.
Cool.
They directly address this myth
Okay.
that plant protein is somehow like inferior for
Right.
building muscle. Like it's
Right.
not as good.
Yeah.
And what's really important to understand is that scientific research shows that as long as you're getting enough total protein,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really matter if it comes from animals or plants.
Interesting.
It's not the main thing holding back muscle growth.
Okay, so how much protein are we talking here?
All right, good question.
The source says that the average person needs
Yeah.
around 0.8 grams of protein
Okay.
per kilogram of body weight.
Per kilogram of body weight.
But athletes who want to build muscle,
Right.
they typically need more.
Yeah, they need to up that intake.
Research suggests
Mm-hmm.
somewhere between 1.2 to 2.0 grams of protein
Okay.
per kilogram of body weight each day,
Per day. Okay.
and for really fast games.
Right, if you're really pushing it.
Yeah.
Some studies even say up to 2.2 grams. Wow.
That's a lot.
It is.
And what's interesting is that even people who eat meat
Yeah.
and are trying to hit those higher protein targets,
Mm-hmm.
they often turn to protein powders
Yeah.
and supplements.
It's not just a plant-based thing.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not just a plant-based challenge.
No.
But the source also brings up a really good point.
Okay.
Don't get so focused on protein
Yeah.
that you forget about other important nutrients,
Right.
especially carbs.
Carbs are important too.
Yeah, sometimes increasing your protein a lot
Yeah.
can accidentally make you eat fewer carbs.
Right. You got to watch out for that.
And that can actually slow down your progress.
Exactly.
The source emphasizes
Mm-hmm.
that carbs are crucial,
Yeah.
not just for fueling your workouts,
Right.
but also for replenishing glycogen stores
Mm-hmm.
in your muscles
Okay.
so you can recover
It's super important.
and grow.
Yeah. For recovery and growth.
Exactly.
And research has even shown
Yeah.
that low-carb diets
Yeah.
can actually work against your training
Mm-hmm.
and slow down or even completely stop muscle and strength gains.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you really got to have those carbs.
Yeah, there's this really interesting study mentioned in the source.
Okay.
An 8-week weight training trial.
Where the groups ate the same total calories
Mm-hmm.
and protein,
Same calories, same protein.
but the group eating a normal amount of carbs
Yeah.
gained a lot more lean muscle mass
Oh, wow.
than the low-carb group,
Okay.
which gained none.
So the low-carb group gained no muscle.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Really got to consider that.
And it goes even further.
Okay.
A 6-month study on rugby players
Okay, rugby players.
showed that those on a more plant-based diet
Yeah.
with plenty of carbs
Okay, plenty of carbs.
actually gained more muscle
Wow.
than those on an animal-based diet
Okay.
who ate more protein but fewer carbs.
Interesting.
So it's like protein and carbs. They got to work together
They're a team.
to build muscle.
It's a team effort.
Yeah. The source suggests
Yeah.
aiming for about 5 to 7 grams of carbs
Okay.
per kilogram of body weight
Per kilogram of body weight.
to support your muscle and strength goals.
All right, so it's not just about protein. It's about carbs, too.
Now, beyond just those macros,
Yeah.
protein, carbs, and fats,
Mm-hmm.
the source points out some other potential benefits
Okay.
of a plant-based approach.
Oh,
Plants are packed with fiber,
yeah.
healthy fats,
Mm-hmm.
vitamins, minerals,
Right.
antioxidants,
Yeah.
and these phytochemicals,
Phytochemicals.
which are powerful plant compounds
Yeah.
that can contribute to overall health
Okay.
and recovery.
Interesting.
These can lead to more energy,
Right.
better blood flow
Right.
for nutrient delivery
Mm-hmm.
and recovery,
Yeah.
less inflammation,
Less inflammation.
and even better muscle efficiency.
Wow.
That study about nitrate-rich plants
Yeah.
leading to a significant increase in lifting power.
I remember reading that.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
And to really drive this point home,
Yeah.
the source gives us some examples
Okay.
of incredible athletes
Awesome.
who are thriving on plant-based diets.
Right.
World record-holding strongman Patrick Baboumian,
Oh, yeah.
Olympic weightlifter Kendrick Ferris,
Mm-hmm.
and even the defensive line of the Tennessee Titans.
Wow. The whole defensive line.
These are people at the peak of their physical ability,
Yeah.
all powered by plants.
Pretty inspiring.
It is.
Right.
And these aren't just flukes.
Exactly.
They're becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
The source concludes that old stereotype of the weak, skinny vegan,
Right.
it's being totally debunked.
Yeah, finally.
As more evidence comes out from labs,
Yeah.
gyms, and playing fields.
Yeah. It's really cool to see that happening.
So let's recap those key takeaways.
All right, let's do it.
That old idea that you need tons of animal protein to be strong,
Right.
it's outdated.
It's out of date.
Even Arnold Schwarzenegger now recognizes
Mm-hmm.
that plant-based eating doesn't stop you from gaining muscle.
Yeah.
And it might even have some benefits.
Exactly.
The basic principles are consistent training
Yeah.
and a calorie surplus.
Gotta eat more than you burn.
And while plant-based foods can be less calorie dense,
Yeah.
focusing on things like grains, beans, nuts, and seeds is really important.
It's key.
The plant kingdom has plenty of high-quality protein,
Yeah.
busting that myth about plant protein being inferior.
Right.
Most athletes need 1.2 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
Okay.
And both plant-based and meat-eating athletes might use supplements.
Makes sense.
Don't forget about carbs.
No.
They're super important for fueling workouts
Mm-hmm.
and helping those muscles grow.
Right.
And plant-based diets can have other perks,
Yeah.
like more energy
Yeah.
and less inflammation.
That's huge.
And athletes like Patrick Baboumian
Yeah.
show us that building serious muscle and strength
Mm-hmm.
on a plant-based diet
Yeah.
is totally possible.
Well, it's absolutely achievable.
So that leaves you with this to think about.
Okay.
What does all this mean for our long-held beliefs about diet and athletic potential?
Right.
Could plant-based nutrition be changing
Yeah.
what peak physical performance looks like?
That's a really interesting question.
Definitely something to chew on.
A lot to think about.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you in the next one.
See you then.